Typically, I don't welcome you to a new city with this kind of nature in the background, but the reason why I am starting the video with this is because this is the reason why this city has its name. This is the Great Salt Lake, and so obviously I am in Salt Lake City. It was interesting, I found a plaque that was talking about the saltiest bodies of water on Earth. They said the Dead Sea has about 33% salinity. The Salt Lake is broken into two parts. Great Salt Lake North has 25% salinity, and then the south area right here has 14%, and the average ocean has 3.5%. And you might wonder, why is it so salty? And the reason why is that water can flow into here, but this is called a terminal lake. Water doesn't flow back out. So the water evaporates, and then all of the minerals and things that are left stay here, and that's what creates to the high salinity that's here. So I also wanted to explain just a little bit about Salt Lake City in general while I have this beautiful scenery in the background. Salt Lake City is the capital of Utah. There's a population here of about 1.2 million in the metropolitan area. It's really interesting as this was founded by a religious leader, a Mormon leader, and this is one of the few cities that I've found, at least anywhere in the world, that has still adhered to those roots and is still very much known for the Mormon roots that are here. And so you can go and see the founder's home, which I will go to a little bit later today, and just see a lot of little remnants of the Mormon church and faith that are here. So I am excited to show you Salt Lake City. Behind me here is the Saltair music venue, and it's really interesting as this whole area was built in 1893 and was coined the Coney Island of the West. This was a whole lake resort area that they built as the entertainment industry was really getting started, and Americans were loving things like jazz music, lounging by the beach side and things like that. And so the whole area decided to pool their resources together and create this lakeside resort. Unfortunately, they had a few fires over the last couple of decades and they've had to rebuild, and this is the only building that is now still standing, and now they have reopened it as a music venue, and so people can actually come here and go to concerts. And so this is just a really cool venue to have right off the interstate and right beside Salt Lake City. So I was hoping to show you where I am right now for the sunset and a sunrise, and I had no idea that they actually have closing hours. I just want to tell you real quick where I am and what the big deal is here. I'm on an area called the Salt Flats that is just west of Salt Lake City. This is really famous for pictures and movies, and they actually have a speedway here. And so I really wanted to come out here, like I said, and just show some really beautiful ambiance and scenery and things, but unfortunately they close in about 5 minutes and I barely got here because I didn't know that. So unfortunately I'm going to go ahead and keep going instead of staying in the area overnight and showing you this, but I did want to at least show you a little bit of kind of driving on this area as well as walking around just for a few minutes before I have to head back out. As I'm sure you've noticed by now, I love coming up and getting a different perspective of a city and really getting a nice overview, and this is no exception. I'm not really sure how to say the trailhead that I'm on right now, Ensign, but this is a little bit of a steep hike, but not too long. And this really provides a great view of the city. And over here, over my shoulder, you can see where the sun has just risen. But it's also cool because you can see the Capitol building right there. And yeah, just the whole landscape. Way over here in the distance, somewhere, I can't see it as I'm filming, but somewhere over here is actually the Great Salt Lake. And also somewhere in this direction is the airport. And so this is just really, really cool to see everything up here and just have a different perspective of Salt Lake City. So I'm standing on the campus of University of Utah, or what they call the U of U, and there's something I wanted to show you as they transformed their stadium into the site of the 2002 Olympics. And so you can come and visit this building right here. For more information, it is closed right now, but I at least wanted to show you this, and then there's symbol of the Olympic flame here, and just to show you something really cool here for Salt Lake City. I am standing in kind of a hidden park. It is actually in a neighborhood, and you kind of have to know where it is to find it, but it's a sculpture park, as you can see one of these right here. It was created by Thomas Battersby Child Jr. in 1945 when he was already 57 years old. He absolutely loved doing this, and so he created this park, and today you can come and visit for free. They do have hours, so it does close, but something like from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I'm not sure if that's year-round. And there are 12 sculptures as well as 70 stones that have different scripture, works of literary art, and things like that. So this is just kind of an interesting, off-the-beaten-path little hidden gem. I'm here at a place called Beer Bar, and as you can see, it has quite the international flair, and it's really interesting because this bar was actually purchased back right after Prohibition stopped here in the States, so back in 1933, and has been going ever since then. They have repurposed it and made it a little bit more modern, of course. But it's a really cool bar, and they have a nice variety of beers, and they even have some good Belgian fries here that I'm about to check out. I'm now standing in Temple Square, and this house behind me is actually called the Beehive, and it is known as the home of Brigham Young, who was the president of the Church of Latter-day Saints, as well as the territory government of Utah and the superintendent of the Indian Affairs. He lived here for 22 years, and to the other side is his office, as well as the Lion House, which was the home of his wives and children. Back then it was allowed to practice polygamy, and that ended in 1890, but he did have a home for them that you can still go and do tours of all three to this day. This is a little shout out to my friends in Australia. If you guys are in Salt Lake City and wanting to come to an Aussie bar, I found one for you called Boomerangs. Of all the murals I've ever come across, this one is definitely my favorite. A mural full of books. This is really cool. They have these little plaques that are right here all over downtown, and you can learn about the buildings that are there. Most of them are historical, like this one that was built in 1905 and used as the original playhouse for plays and entertainment and things like that. So this is really cool because you can do like a little walking tour of downtown with these. I am inside the Tabernacle right now, and as you see behind me, this is an 11,000 pipe organ. And every day at 12 o'clock, Monday through Saturday, they perform a free recital. They also do one on Sundays that's at 2 o'clock. Unfortunately, they don't allow for pictures or for videos, but they do have what you see is the blue behind it. For each new song that she played, it went from blue, then another one was green, and the next one was orange, and then it did like full pink. So it's really interesting, especially since it's free, and it's nice to get out of the elements for about 30 minutes. I am standing here at Liberty Park, and it is actually the oldest and second largest park here in Salt Lake City. The first mention I could see of a date is 1857, and so it is quite an old park, but it's really beautiful. It's about 10 minutes from downtown, and it has volleyball courts, bocce ball, and so this is just a really nice, quiet, relaxing park to come and enjoy. Behind me here is Smith's Ballpark, and this is a stadium for their minor league baseball, and it's really cute as they are called the Bees. From there you can see. I really love how everything is referring to the Beehive here. I didn't realize this until I went to the Beehive house yesterday, but this is actually their little state symbol, and it represents community. And I thought that was really cute that Utah has adopted that. This building behind me is called Family Search, And I wound up not coming here yesterday because I thought they'd be open today, which is Saturday. And I got here and found out a big disappointing. They are not open on Saturdays and Sundays, at least right now. But they have a massive genealogy that you can go and research your family. And it's actually a part of the Latter-day Saints faith to know as much as you can about your history. So they have one of the biggest in the world that you can come and search, and it's actually free. They also have things for kids to get involved, teenagers, scavenger hunts, and all kinds of cool stuff. So this is a really cool place, and I'm so sorry that I can't go in there and show you anything, but if you're here, this is a really great place called Family Search. I am totally in the world of Guy right now. I am at a Land Cruiser Heritage Museum, and it's really interesting as they have Land Cruisers from the beginning of time to modern ones, including these white ones. Let me see if I can walk over here and explain a little bit more about them. They are expedition ones, and they actually went to all 7 continents. The videos that are up above right here are actually from their adventure of going to all 7 continents. So these are really, really cool to see. But in general, this is a really cool museum. About $15 to get in. And it is very impressive, all of the different styles and colors. Some of them are actually really kind of crappy, but they still have them here so you can see all the different years and what they have. So this is a really cool museum if you get a chance to come. Behind me here is a statue of the Pony Express. And if you aren't familiar with what that is, back in 1845, it took about 6 months to get anything from the East Coast to California. But as gold was struck and more people were heading out west in the 1850s, they decided that something had to be done to speed up the mail to get up-to-date news. So they developed the Pony Express, and interesting enough, it only lasted 18 months, but it left quite a legacy, and this here is a monument to show what all those brave guys did to get the mail from Missouri to California in 10 days or less. I'm at the Capitol building right now, and as you can see, I'm here but right before sunrise, and so it's really pretty to see buildings lit up. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you was this little hill that's right here. This is where I was yesterday when I was showing you the view from up there down here. One more thing I wanted to say real quick is that this Capitol building has been used in movies. One of the movies you might recognize is the movie National Treasure. And I don't know if there was a scheduling conflict or a permissions problem, but they did not go to DC. They actually used this as a stand-in. Another place that is familiar for filming is out on the Salt Flats. I don't know which Star Wars movie, but one of the Star Wars movie actually filmed there, as well as Independence Day with Will Smith. So it's kind of cool to be in Salt Lake City and the surrounding area, as this is a nice little haven for movie makers. I try not to show too many libraries, but this one actually has to have its own little spot here. So this is a really beautiful library. This is the public library downtown. And as you see, it's quite large and has this full glass front that they have here. There's a lot of notable things, so I'll try to go through them a little bit quickly. But there are fireplaces on 4 of the floors. There's a massive children's section. There's a coffee shop. There's actually stores on the first level that people are able to sell different things. There is over 500,000 books, over 60 subscriptions to magazines, including in different languages, which I found fascinating. In 2006, they even had Library of the Year award. They even have passport services in there. So this is just an interesting place to see if you're able to come and check this out. So this wraps up my time here in Salt Lake City. And one of the things I wanted to say that was a little bit different for me to get used to, that a lot of the streets down here in downtown have numbers instead of names. They aren't always logical, such as you might be traveling down 400 South Street and have to turn on 400 West Street. And it's just surprising that some of them even do have street names, such as 300 South, I believe it is Broadway, and yet they still only use the numbers. And so I wasn't too crazy about that. Might have to get in touch with the city planners and see if they can fix that. But I was also surprised at how hilly it is here. I had no idea that it was. And some places you kind of had to get a running start to get up a hill. So overall, I have really enjoyed my time here. It's very, very pretty with the surrounding mountains, very easy to get around, and I have just been very impressed with my time here. So I will see you in the next video.